Good evening. I just removed the clamps and it has dried for like 2 hours or 1.5 hour, and it will keep on drying now. And as far as now, we have this ready. All the paint will be removed because we're going to carve. This paint will go away. This is paint on a piece of poplar. And now we will make the chimney. And the top part we will glue when everything is carved. And when we would have installed our coffee strips and the matches and everything to imitate the top of this, as you can see. And this will be carved with stonework, just like I did with the bridge. The whole bottom part will be carved with stones, and there will be some openings for windows and things like that. Windows and the door. Okay, next part is the chimney, which is quite a massive part. I choose the chimney to be in the front of the, let me see, quite at the beginning, I suppose, from where the house is here. It's quite wide. This is a quite wide chimney, but it will be tapered. But it starts very massive. Like that, it looks nice. In fact, would we put the chimney there? Would we put it here? Not at the front door. If here is going to become the front door, the chimney most likely would be here in the back where the kitchen is. So we will make the chimney here in the back. It will be glued there. So in order to know the height of the chimney, we put our top here, and the chimney has to be much bigger than the roof, and it would look a bit tapered, but with this kind of brickwork. So put it on top, get a pencil, and estimate its height. Let me see, is this a nice, and yes, no damages, so this will be the top. Okay, and then we estimate, we eyeball. We'll have to eyeball the height. It has to be higher than the top of the roof, so that there's no risk of fire coming onto the roof, as the roof is made of wooden shingles. Is this enough? Yes. Higher would be not nice, I think. What do you think? Imagine we would do it there. Let me see, is that too high? Yes, that's way too high. Just a little bit higher than the top. I choose for this one. So I got a square. And we'll mark. We transfer those lines to all sides. And then we have to think if we're going to cut it off now or later. As now it is easier to clamp as it's less short. When it's short, it's easy. It's hard to clamp in a vise. So let me think. I think we will leave it like that. Long. The next step is to make sure that this is flat. Looks okay. Later on we could glue a little square on top, which should be carved as well, and that is to imitate the following of the chimney. That would be to imitate this part and this part are just two squares, which probably we will glue on top, or we could do it massive and don't glue anything, but we need to know that now. I think we could take the risk and do it massive. Okay, the next thing before we would cut off the axis is to make this tapered a bit from all sides. So we are going to trace a center line. In order to know the center line, we take a caliper and I measure 15 roughly, so the half of that would be 7.5 millimeters. We do that on both sides. And then this side too is 27, 26, 13.5. Now we have to make it tapered. Before we do that, we'll have to know till where the chimney comes. I put here that this is the back. B A C K. That's the back of the house. And then we can mark till where the chimney will be inside and when it comes out. So we just place our piece of wood there and we mark. It's enough. And again, we take our square and transfer those lines. Okay, then we write already here that this is the bottom. B-O-T-T-T-O-M. Bottom. This is the top. Now it stays straight here. This is the part of inside which will stay just straight, and we start to make it tapered as soon as it comes out of from the roof, out of the house. We make it tapered that it's nice looking, so we do that by eye, by looking. For example, and then we just have a look if it's nice. Like this. Now comes the moment that we can cut off here and plane this into in the marked inclinations, and then we will plane the rest. And before I forget, the top part, which is a piece of pipe, I think I have it. We'll have a look. These are from my mother, who collects them for me. They are the excellent size. They're from plastic. And I will drill a hole on top of the chimney and then insert that piece. But we will see. First let me see how much that is, how much I have to drill. It would be 4 millimeters. Excellent. And you can glue it with some Tide-Bond or super glue or something like that. And now we will cut off the axis. For this we use a very fine tooth saw. Now we can take a block plane and we can plane down. I'll plane away all excess. Well, the same thing we should do at the other side. Mark the lines first. First I will file the end grain. Okay. Now we transfer those lines, as I said, with a sharp pencil. We transfer the same lines on the other side. This is just a reference line, like that we know how much to plane from both sides. And the same on the other side. Now we plane down and we respect the lines. We plane down here and we will respect the lines. We put it in the bench vise. And the same on the other side to make it nice, tapered, nicely tapered. Okay. Still missing a little part. Didn't plane down. Yeah, it's tapered now. As you can see, it's slightly tapered. Now we will do exactly the same here on the sides. We have to mark again the lines as they vanished, as we plane them away. This was 15, so 7.5 it should be. You can see very clearly that it's tapered. And now we do exactly the same as we did before. And we have to plane that down too. So it means you're going to clamp that thing in the vise again. We'll plane it down the axis as we did. Now we do the same with the other side. And then we have a look if it's more or less like this, it's tapered, and like this, it's slightly tapered. Now we'll have a look at how it looks in reality. Remember, we wrote back, this is the back, and we'll have a look how it looks like. It looks tapered, and I'd say, let me see, I'd say we do it a little bit more tapered in the way at the white side. The white side has to be more tapered, I think. A little bit, just a little bit, not too much. We won't overdo it. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Maybe we should leave it like that. I'm not sure. No, we leave it like that. That's okay. And the next thing is just, I think it's better to not glue a piece on the top. Like I said before, it might break off. It should be of maple anyways, if you would do that. To put a piece like that on top, for example. It should be of maple, and it might break off, I'm not sure. We can give it a try. Maybe I have something ready. Let me see. Yes, we have some, but they are too thin. I have something. This is nice and thick enough. We could try this one and glue it on top. Yeah, okay. We'll try that then. I think it's hard enough. Let's see if it's carvable. Of course, I would prefer maple, but I'm afraid I don't have any piece of thick maple. Only pine wood. No maple. Let me see if there's another place still where I can. I have some weather material. This is maple, and as I have enough, I could take the risk. This is maple. Yes. Okay. What we do is we put a thin one and a thick one. Yes. We put a very thin one and then a thick one on top. And those, of course, have to be estimated. So we put it upside down, our piece, and estimate how big it should be. We give it like 1.5 2 millimeters bigger, the first one. I do that by eye. Then we'll cut it out with a little metal saw. This is our first one for a chimney. We will glue that on top. First one. And then the second one has to be bigger than this one, again 1 millimeter. So we take our piece of scrap maple. They threw this away in a school where they make violins. So I place it on the desired spot. Moment. First, I'll sand it a little bit straight, or saw, or cut from the metal saw. Sand it a little bit straight. This is sandpaper 120, grit 120, glued on a piece of plywood. Okay, now we saw this, I think, in the bench vise. We'll do it in the bench vise. And of course, we should transfer those lines in order to have a good sawing cut. Okay, now we'll have to do this sawing cut first, and then at the end cut it off. Yes, this piece needs to be sand down or either planed down, but it will be a bit difficult. You can do it with a very small plane like this one. We'll try and see if it is possible. Or with a file. I think it's better with a file. It's too short to be planed. It looks okay. It will do. Now we take our chimney. We'll have a look how it looks like. And I say it looks okay. It's just a matter of gluing it now on the top. Let me see if I. It looks okay. After it will be carved, of course. It will be carved and rounded. Oh, oops. And now we can glue everything together. And it might be a good idea to use some toothpicks, or we wait long enough in order to be sure that it won't slip. I think I will just wait long enough. Before we put the clamps on, we will wait long enough. That's what I mean. Now we have to wait till the glue is not that slippery anymore. Now we can risk to put a clamp on it. I think I will just press it down for a while. I don't think a clamp would do the work. Let me see. We'll remove this excess glue with some piece of scrap wood. because the next day it only can be done mechanically with a chisel, so it's the best to remove it now. Now we double check if it's well aligned. It looks like yes. Now we need to wait till it dries, then it can be carved. And after it's being carved, we can install glue the chimney with with two clamps. We can glue it to the wall. And then we can make the roof at the end. After all the carving is done and the coffee strips here, which are the top here, coffee strips. Here the coffee strips are glued. Thanks for watching, and I hope it is inspiring you to make your own models.